Hi guys, my name is Jesus John. This is my channel, my first Decataro. Today on the channel I'm going to do something like a little different, doing the readings a little differently because I felt intuitively guided to do like four particular readings. And the first one is what your mind or what your ego might be saying and like hinting to you, saying under your breath intuitively. Again, these readings are brought to me intuitively to do. So like what your mind or your ego saying intuitively and like want you to bring attention, yeah, want to be brought to your attention basically. Again, this I'd still doing my next 24 general readings, but intuitively I was guided to do these readings, and the way how we're going to be doing these readings is by it's a little different. So I've taken one card from the Angel Heart Sigil, which is this deck. And the Angel Heart Sigil does deal with the archangels that's around. It's a triggering deck. It's a deck of um, awakening and stuff. So I didn't play with the cards before as I was meditating. So the kind of plaque. But yeah, so we're taking one card from the Angel Heart Sigil. Sorry about the lights on, guys, even though it cannot make any card look cool, hopefully, the lights on are bad. So the first card and the main card for this reading is Haniel, Innocence. So there's your mind, there's your body, there's your ego. So right off the bat, I'm seeing we don't give the ego enough credit, we don't give the mind enough credit, because in the early part of your life, a lot of us, the mind is actually will take control and set certain boundaries on us and make us believe certain things and basically help us conform to the first set of information we come into contact with, basically. And the first card is Haniel, Innocence. And it just, I literally feel like if your mind or your ego saying, it didn't know better, so be easy on yourself. Right? Why I say that? Because this could be for somebody, it don't want to be for somebody, one person in particular. It could be for the mass majority, but it could be for somebody in particular, because it's still general readings, even though I'm doing the readings differently, right? So this could be somebody who does beat up on themselves. This could be somebody who does reflect on the past a lot and live with regret, basically. Somebody who, when they reflect, they don't reflect and pull back anything positive to be joyful of. This person, if they was to reflect, they would most likely like end up being depressed. They would end up binge eating, binge drinking, whatever it is that is do to ease that stress, basically. So yeah, um, your mind or your ego saying it was innocent, yeah, was like you was innocent. The world already had, like, it messed up views, and it was already warped, basically. So looking back on the past and reflecting on the past too much wouldn't necessarily help, because you did your best in that situation. Again, that is with the mind and the ego is to, like, especially like at a young early age, if you don't know how to control it or you don't really understand the concepts of life, is like the mind and the ego will make you believe like one fixed scenario is real, and I just like break it down like real simple. It will make you believe that one scenario is real, that you would live in it. And what has usually happened is that eventually I ask the question, is this all, is there more to this than that? And then now it's like you send all these rockets of desires as Abraham Hicks, for who does watch that. I used to watch that at a point in my time, and she would talk about like shooting out rockets of desires. And yeah, it's at a point in time where you would have to, because you would ask that question, is this all? And then eventually you would most likely definitely realize that is no. And you would want to go in searching things again, but you can't go in searching of things like doubting yourself and holding yourself back, because eventually this is where this will lead to not forgiving your past and accepting your past. Again, your mind or your body just saying that it was innocent, you are innocent. I'm really sorry about the lighting, guys, but I'm not going to change the camera because I don't have equipment to edit my videos as yet. So, innocence. And let me see what else says. Nice Archangel Haniel. So, you have drawn this card to be reminded that the blessed virtue of innocence will always heal your wounds or those of others. You see, the angels pour their golden light of love and purity upon any trouble when innocence is requested. Similarly, this special loving quality of Haniel's heart comes to you to remind you of the essence of this virtue. Meditate on the icon, feeling its force and reviewing the symbols of the Lamb and Babe held in the loving embrace of the divine feminine. These are ancient symbols of faith and purity, resonating deep within our consciousness, bringing us to the exquisite account of our own truth and purity that leads us in turn to triumph. Chant the sacred syllable or through the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, and all will be restored. So again, and the last part actually kind of stand out to me because it said all will be restored, meaning as if something was lost, as if time was lost, as if innocence was lost, as if um, self-worth value was lost. I'm really, really sorry about the lights. I would apologize for this whole video about the lights, and because the car just like lights it up. But yeah, but basically, let me see. There we go. So yeah, because I really want to be able to see like this. Just embrace yourself, like just accept what it is. Like this woman, like funny story, right? This woman holding a lamb and a baby, but the way how she holding the lamb and the baby is like she embracing the both of them the same way. The same way how she holding the baby is the same way how she holding the lamb. And I think that's how you need to like hold your inner child right now, your past child, your past self. Like just embrace it no matter what. So I don't know if I fully explain how I'm doing these readings, but I actually taken one card from the Angel Heart Sigil, 3 cards to clarify, a little more from what come up on the surface, I guess. With this, thanks so much for the likes, thanks so much for the subscribe, thanks so much for the view, and just like treat each other with love all the time, man. So this is that's light and real bad. Oh my goodness. So this is the 7 of Swords. It's light and real bad, guys. I'm so sorry. So this is the 7 of Swords. And this is talk about treachery, being wrong, moving away from sneaky friends, people who does gossip, carry news, all that not so good energy. Honestly, I saying it as it is, I'm not here to bash anybody. We just have it time and period to go through things, but you could have been somebody. They just want to read a couple of girls. You could have been somebody who was like that, who would carry news, who would sneak around, who would carry gossip and stuff, right? I'm not pointing any fingers again, but if you was brought to the street and not resonate, you would know yourself. Yeah. And again, the last part of what this card said, restoring what is lost, coming back to me, because the next card is the Hermit card. So just to further clarify us, it's like go inside yourself, like see why it is that you used to act out that way. Okay, I was laughing, and I'm not pointing fingers, but that's just what the reading saying. See why it is you was acting that way, because a lot of the times, again, going back to the childhood, like what the card brought up, innocence, where it is your mind might be saying, where it is your body, where it is your ego might be saying, it was innocence, anything, in the in that phase of your life, however it resonates. The 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 hermit is going inside yourself, doing deep introspection, take it, moving away from the world, um, actually going inside yourself, you know, spending that time self isolation. That is the word, like quarantine. So yeah, no, but a lot of the programming that we have and playing out in our lives right now is things that we just view, observe, and accept because we didn't know better. But when you're moving on, and yeah, honestly, when you're growing, you're getting into like the adult life and stuff, and you again you learn new concepts and different concepts of life. So when you have one way, it does be hard. You have to go inside on yourself and face these things but yeah, because again, it is what it is, bros. But answers, but at the end of the day, this calling and there's the root chakra as well. Because it's red, a lot of red actually. I wearing red. This is a lot of red here, even though it's looking a little orange because it's glimmering on the lights. Right, but there's a lot of red actually as well. I'm holding the cards real bad for you. I'm so sorry. But your mind or your ego saying that it was innocence at that point in time. It did whatever it was best to protect you. Um, you went along with how strong you was and what it is you understood. And it's time to go inside yourself now, heal, forgive, and not just rejuvenate, but allow the Archangel Haniel, because he did say that he would help restore whatever it is was lost. So the next reason also that I'm doing these readings so is that I want to get the readings a little more bite-sized. So that is actually all that I have for you guys today on that. But it actually have four particular videos that I wanted to do intuitively, that I was guided to read. And this was the first one, where it is that your mind or your ego was saying. So basically, your mind or your ego saying that's how it was innocent, you was innocent at the point in time it did whatever it was best to protect you. And if you're here and you survived during these trial and times, then I say that was a job well done. But now it's time to forgive, change, and decide what future it is you want, and help humanity rebuild itself again. If it resonates, like, subscribe, share. Thanks so much already for your support, and treat each other with love.